We are already at the end of the month. The month of May is just about out. And May is Mental Health Month. And I pay or give myself the extra focus, mental health focus during Mental Health Month. Um, and so it's in particular a month that is important to me, right? The recognition or taking the time out to celebrate or give extra focus to mental health because back in 2017 or 2016, I went through my first experience of being, clinically depressed and anxious. And because I've always been a type of person that could fight through anything. Like I could get through anything. I've been through so many different things, and you know, with through the strength of God and the strength of myself, together, like I've always felt like I was strong enough, to get through anything. So 2016 was just one of those years where I didn't have the strength. Curled up in a knot, crying the whole nine, like can't move, don't want to, like just everything, just out of whack. And my mother told me to get some help. And it wasn't the first time. Like I have had therapy with my children and things like that, but this was different. Me trying to push through, and my mom, was like, "Get the help." And I had saw um, her many years ago also have to get help, and so I did that. You know, uh, went and sought the help to get better, to get back to a functioning state of being. And so, um, I during that time I sought out a black woman, right? So my therapist was black. The person that I saw regularly was black, and the person that my therapist was up under was a white guy. I'm the psychiatrist, so there was a psychiatrist that I would go and see once a month, I believe, and then my therapist actually I saw every week at first, but then it started to taper down as I got better. I actually was fighting this battle for about a year, right? So as you see, depression, anxiety, um, and so that, where is it? I didn't give the all the record, the whole history, but as you can see, it was a weekly basis um, that I was going to see my therapist starting out, and then um, there's a big jump right there though. But I was going for weekly, and then it kind of tapered down, like I said, and then I was out of work for about a year, like on medical, what's the FMLA, um, working on getting better, and finally I went back, started to really get back to myself around March of 2017. So, you know, this whole debacle, I will call it, with Cheyenne Bryant is crazy. Like, I had for maybe the past few years seen this individual on different things. Could have been a little longer. I know she did the Teen Mom thing. I've seen her on different platforms with some of the girlies that I've watched, like from Basketball Wives, etc., being in the same spaces with them. Um, I watch, Fox Soul and different things. So she was on platforms like with Torre. I started seeing her more and more, but I know she referenced herself. She refers to herself as Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Honestly, my interest was not peaked enough at the time to see, if she was a doctor. I just thought it was a moniker like Dr. Dre or Dr. Julius Irvin or, that type of scenario. Really did not think she was a doctor, just by way of the behaviors that she demonstrated and what she would be talking about, etc. Um, on the platforms that I saw her on, it didn't come across as a doctor. It came across as someone maybe, with life experiences. We all have opinions, and she would have some opinions, and actually some of those opinions would be all over the place and change, and it was never really cohesive. So I did not think this person was a doctor. But it's okay for anyone to question someone's credentials when they are saying that they are a certain thing and they are speaking and giving advice and um, kind of diagnosing, if you will, like, or out of her mouth. I've heard her say I've heard her speak as if she's a therapist and reference herself in a certain kind of way as a therapist. And I would have to go back and find those videos, but I'm certain that I've heard her refer to herself in a way where it was either indicating she was a therapist or she stated she was a therapist, like she does therapy. And so when you're treating people, when you have a client base, customer base, what have you, when you're treating people, when you have a mental health service, then it's okay to say, what are your credentials? That is something people should be asking. So it's really disconcerting to see that this person would double down on not having to prove anything to anyone when you're literally trying to sell yourself to the public. Your skill set, your knowledge, and all of the things that you speak, and your history that you have brought up on numerous of videos. Again, I probably commented twice on Cheyenne's, Dr. Cheyenne. I'll call it that, and then I'll explain why. I'll continue to call her Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, right? She did trademark her name. But outside of that, I have called many people doctor that reference themselves doctor. Like I just mentioned, Dr. Julius Urban. We know he wasn't a doctor, but he wasn't professing to be healing or treating or, treating anyone. So it is okay to absolutely seek, want to know, dig into, understand the background of someone who is selling the services that Cheyenne Bryant is selling. Even if she was just a life coach. When I looked for my therapist, I went on the website I put in specifics, what I'm looking for, black woman, etc., and what are their credentials. It tells you everything that she specialized in, the whole nine, how long, where she got her license, how long she's been licensed, everything was there. I wanted to know because I know for me, my mental health is important. I want to be up under the care of someone who knows what the hell they're doing. I want to be up under the care of someone who is a professional, who is experienced, who has the expertise to lead me from where I am to back to a healthy state or where I want to be. So the fact that this person pushes back and doubles down and say they don't have anything to prove is really disconcerting. I would have hoped that she would have said, even if she started out, just be transparent. For me, transparency is everything. I'm not an actual doctor. I don't have, I didn't finish my doctorate's degree, or I call myself a doctor because I've had all the training, and a lot of life experience. I don't actually hold my doctorates. It's something that I will eventually obtain, but I'm not a therapist. Be transparent. But my skills are what they are. My life experiences, I've had the practice. I would have went that path. I've been up under the tutelage of people, who are very experienced and solid in this field, etc., I would have doubled down. You give people the choice, be transparent, and give people the opportunity to decide whether or not you are who they want to rock with. It really is that simple. Um, uh, uh, Hold on. So, there's an old saying that a broken clock is right twice a day. And unfortunately, in our community, we're very emotionally driven. People can be targeting us with the ultimate harm in mind, but if they tap into our emotion and they say something right twice, we're locked in. We're all locked. We are jumping off the cliff. Uh, uh, you know, Head first, diving right in to trusting and being led. And I have seen that when in regards to Dr. Umar. And I'll tell you, when he first was starting to launch that school, I was one of the first ones. It ain't like I donated a whole lot of money, but I did donate some money. I'm so big on supporting us, right? And then we come back around to school. I'm like, where's the school? Where's the school? Where's the school? School's not built. Then he comes and asks for more money, and he gets huge donations again. School's not built, and then he's coming with all of these excuses, and the what do you call it, the contractors, I don't know, duped them or whatever the excuse is. And so this is common in our community. It's not that it's rare anywhere else. It's just we really do. We're duped a whole lot by our own, a whole lot. And we really have to understand that it is okay. It is okay to assess, to evaluate, to want to know, to ask for the information, to verify and validate. It is okay to do that. And, I know Cheyenne has been on Shay Shay, Club Shay Shay. She's been on the Joe Budden Show. I'm not going to pull up all those videos. And, she's been on, I forget the guy's name. It's the married pastor. He brings married folks on. Forget his name. I've seen her on so many platforms, and a lot of times, not only has she been out of pocket, like saying things out of pocket, she's generally just not consistent. It's kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And so, it's disheartening to see that. I am going to pull up the one interview, though, where that she had on Fox. Okay, here it is here.
And the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
But with the questions that are out there, why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees, and my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees.
Wait, what? Damn, I think that's a lot.
And also, more than just my titles, it's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live, for the most part. My sessions with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr. Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it, they can't validate me, I validated myself, they deemed it as my work being effective. I am effective at what I do. I'm educated and I'm successful in my lane, and I'll land on this. I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people see that you created something that maybe they couldn't, admiration turns into envy. And you gotta be okay. And you gotta be okay with that.
As an attack. Yeah. But I think, and I've gotten this question from many viewers, and I owe it to them.
You
in
do.
Service to
Absolutely.
them. Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth the doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by it. Yeah,
right.
Because I earned it. Absolutely.
All right. Well,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you. I know you're going to hang around. And
I want to thank you.
Okay, so I think that is so tacky to try and hide behind being jealous or envious when people are merely asking you to show and prove who you say you are. That, for me, is a clear indication that you absolutely are not who you say you are. Who goes through the rigor, the level of work, the level of education, the level of study, the level of practice, the level of everything, investment, overall investment for something as important, beautiful, critical, specialized in the field that you're in, to hide it, to not show it. And then to say, anybody can be envious of anything. It's plenty of people. There's a lot of jealous people that walk the face of the earth, but being held accountable, merely hiding behind jealousy because people are asking you, hey, you come across this way, you've said certain things, we just want to see the proof. You have all these websites portraying a certain thing, you got your nameplate saying a certain thing that appears to be in alignment with what you're selling. So just verify that. And when you can't, when you have to hide behind jealousy, that's a clear indication that you're an imposter. You're an imposter. Now, I don't feel Cheyenne has to drop doctor, because, as I mentioned, you have different types, let me see here, of doctors. So let's just deal with a few things, right? Because you got honorary doctorates. Well, she does have an honorary doctorate degree from some institution, and I don't think it's related totally to what the field she's in. Maybe it is around life coach. Don't quote me. I do know she did receive an honorary doctorate. And so I just want to quickly read, because you got your honorary doctorates, you got your earned academic doctorates, and then you have where people just use the moniker doctor, right, as a pseudonym to kind of convey their social status in life, right? And so when I look at this, I say doctorates represent the highest level of academic achievement, but not all doctorates are created equal. An earned doctorate requires years of rigorous study, original research, and dissertation defense, while an honorary doctorate is awarded for exceptional contributions to society without formal academic requirements, right? You don't have to have formal academic education. And so that's explaining at least the doctorates, the actual doctorates. Those who went to school for it and achieved it, and those who didn't but were awarded a doctorate merely by way of their philanthropic, or they're just not even just their investment and their life's work. So when I look at hold on one second. When I look at some of those folks, pull it up here, who we honor and recognize as folks that we esteem to be prominent people. We have Dr. Maya Angelou, right, who has an honorary doctorate. And I'll get to it. I know you're just giving some examples here. Dr. Maya Angelou, she didn't have a doctorate, academic doctorate. She's had honorary doctorates because of the work, her investment in the community, her skill, her craft, her impact on society, right? Um, and I know, Dr. Sebi, he was not an actual academic achieving doctor, but his studies, um, his research on eating healthy and sickness and the body and things like that, like holistic perspective. He done enough research and help those in the community, etc. Our community absolutely has looked to Dr. Sebi's work as something as being um, referenceable, official, right, for holistic living. As I mentioned before, you got Dr. Julius Irving. They said, hey doc, doc, it's a pseudonym. We understand clearly that he's not a doctor, but he uses that was his moniker. Um, Same with Dr. Nikki G. She has an honorary doctorate because of her impact on society with her work, right, in the Black community, her poetry, her activism, the whole nine. You got Dr. Dre because of his skill and ability. There is a whole history on how he got the name Dr. Dre, but it still ties back to, outside of that DJ and etc., ties back to he's called that because he's absolutely a doctor. He is performing surgery, in his field, right? With music and beats, producing. Um, so I'll just kind of quickly go through them. You got Dr. Booker T, you got Dr. Al Sharpton, and they, honorary. You have Dr. John H. Clark, Dr. John Henrik Clark, who was one of my favorite people. Like, I can recall in my early days when I was real young, just the love of my community, and as I was getting into activism and um, developing to the activist that I was innately born to be, right? A lot of the consciousness that I developed, he was essential to that in my early days. Him, my Uncle Mac, 5% Nation, um, a lot of things fed that. And so he was Dr. Henrik Clark, that absolutely called the doctor. He was a scholar, unquestionable, undefeated, like without any degrees, will run rings around people who had multiple degrees. Please look up Dr. Henrik Clark. And he did not actually get his doctorate degree until he was about 80 years old, and it was from an institution that they say is uncredited and claim that he still don't have the doctorate, that it's not an official doctorate's degree anyway. But his work, his knowledge, the whole nine, like he is, he's solid. So I do understand that there are those scenarios where people are just ingenious in their craft. Now, and what they bring to the field and their knowledge and their ability and to level it up, to help it evolve, like to help it evolve, right? Your name is on helping a thing evolve. But I think I'm a little more sensitive when it comes to Cheyenne Bryant, in the sense that, like I said, mental health, like this is really critical because you can harm someone. You can lead someone down the wrong path. Dealing with this fragile, very fragile place right here. And I think so, as a preventative measure, people should be questioning. I'm so happy that Dr. Raquel, Dr. Kier Gaines, this other person, Dr. T, I'm going to share across some information, like people in the industry, because now you're not only are you causing doubt with you're causing doubt in the industry where those in our community, that you're causing doubt for other folks who are official in this space, and they have to go back to the community and get a side eye, right? But those folks are coming out and they have the credentials, and they can prove, they can verify that they are who they say they are. But I'm glad that, our community is coming out to say, hey, look, you gotta show and prove. You gotta quiet this noise. Just go ahead and show your credentials. And if you can't do that, maybe you need to pivot, reframe it. Come, be transparent. Come out, apologize. I don't want Cheyenne Bryant to be starved out. I'm not saying that. Now, I am definitely, she needs to be receptive, right? Because if you folks are trying to lead you in the right direction and help you, assist you in course correcting, if you are going to resist that, then you absolutely are now making it a battle. You're making it a war, and that's unfortunate, because I never want that. I always want for us to try to figure out how to resolve any of our community issues without it becoming this huge thing on display for the world to see. That's my wishful, hopeful, prayerful, I don't know, thing that I really would love for us to evolve to, because so many other people know how to do that. Other communities know how to take their shit and say, okay, look, let's check this out. We're gonna take this right here. You might get a glimpse of some stuff going on, but when all is said and done, it's not on display the way our issues are on display. When we have those moments of disharmony, it's not on display like that. I hope that she would be receptive to those who are leading in this space, and handle that on the back end. Allow your sisters to help you figure it out. It don't got nothing to do with jealousy, because women were championing, they were pushing you, Cheyenne, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. They were rooting for you from the get-go. So stop it. It's not until things started not adding up. You were on a show with a pastor and his wife talking about your vagina jumping, basically, right there. You've done a lot of out-of-pocket things. You come across, you don't handle your emotions well. The way you came across on Joe Budden show, just not being able to regulate your own emotions while trying to tell people how to regulate their emotions is just wild to me. And to hear Dr. Umar Johnson come out and say that black women are jealous.
Cheyenne Bryant having or not having a doctorate does nothing to my doctorate art. It does nothing to my career. It does nothing to my profession.
That has nothing to do with anything. It does have everything to do with the people that she's affecting, the people that are supporting her and looking to her as a resource in their life to help them guide and navigate. It does. It may not do anything for you, your doctorates, Dr. Umar. You actually have a doctorate degree. And it's still heartbreaking what a lot of the foolery that you put on display as someone with a doctorate degree, how you at times lead our community wrong. He says a lot of great things. He is very knowledgeable. He shares a lot of wisdom, but he also puts a lot of effery out there. And stuff like this, to say blanketly in a blanket statement that just black women are jealous because people want to hold someone accountable who is constantly put before them, selling their services, their skills, their thing that they're selling, their product, and just wanting you to validate your product before I come to you, before I'm led down this path. There's a such thing as preventative measures. We don't want to be reactive. We don't want something major to happen as a result of how this woman is presenting herself, and then it's too late. This is precaution. This is preventative measures that's trying to be that people are trying to say, hey, before something major happens, before something catastrophic takes place, let's do this thing. So for Dr. Umar to go down this path is dangerous. To co-sign that sentiment of just black women. Oh, you think all black women are out here just jealous because of Cheyenne Bryant? Are you really kidding me? Because they're holding her accountable and asking for her credentials, and just say, show and prove that you are who you say you are? Dr. Umar, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, stop the foolery.
I don't have a need to investigate her. I don't have a need to slander her.
Just because you don't have a need to investigate her doesn't mean other people shouldn't. She's presenting and selling a product.
To belittle her, to malign her, to assault her. I don't have no need to do anything against that black woman because she hasn't hurt anybody.
So I think you should attach yet to that. And for all you know, you don't know if she has. You don't know what level of damage may already have been done because nobody has come out to say that yet. You don't know. You don't know.
She is a life coach, Art, and you don't have to be certified or have a doctorate or a license to be a life coach.
And if she only said that, I'm just a life coach. I am not a therapist. I cannot diagnose. She gives a lot of wrong information, which is why, around therapy, which is why Dr. Raquel had to come out and put the information out that she did. If she just came out and said, listen, I just use doctor as the moniker. I didn't finish my schooling. I got some, or whatever it is. People can, listen, there's so many ways, to address this. But assigning or attaching jealousy to this is wild.
She ain't misdiagnosed nobody. She ain't done no clinical work without a license. I haven't seen any wrongdoing from Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
You are not everywhere at all times. You don't know what she done. You don't know what she's done yet.
So what do I think is going on here, Art? I believe that black women, I'm going to call the kettle black. Some men too, but mostly black women are attacking her out of jealousy. They are jealous of her looks.
I see it the other way. They're trying to protect the community, and they're also trying to protect you, Dr. Bryant, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. They're trying to protect you as well. Sisters, show and prove. And they're trying to protect the space that they've been able to, the industry that they have been locked out for many years, where we didn't have any representation. We didn't have people looking like us in this industry. And so when we break through those strongholds, when we get through the gates, when those folks our people are able to get into those spaces where we had to go to doctors who didn't believe that we suffered from pain, that we had who felt our pain was so tolerable that like we could tolerate more than a human could tolerate. Being misdiagnosed, being dismissed, being canceled. Dr. Umar, are you okay? Did you fell and bumped your head? This is really irresponsible of someone who has a doctorate. This is why I'm saying, even for some folks who have the credentials, who went through the schooling and things like that, I've seen so many people with degrees who are just ignorant, not ignorant, that just ignorant. book knowledge, no wisdom, just moving with the social flow, just saying things that are buzzworthy, something that can be monetized, like you're focused on monetization. Like, come on, please stand 10 toes down. And this is a serious thing. We're talking mental. We're talking this space right here, this territory right here. This right here is serious. Nothing to be played with. You can send somebody off a deep end that will never find their way back.
They are jealous of her life coaching career. They are jealous of her podcast success. They wish they were in her position. And because they are not, they are trying to destroy that woman. Period. Point blank in the story. I've told you before, Art.
All right, so that's enough of that. I sincerely would have loved for Dr. Umar Johnson to say, listen, I don't fault the community for wanting to hold this woman accountable. I don't think that we should, tear her down, try to counsel her. Let's try to, I would encourage Dr. Cheyenne Bryant to, meet with, I don't know, some of the folks in the medical community, or the therapists, those leading spaces of therapy, get some advice, etc. I don't know, something other than painting all of the individuals, women mainly and some men, as he said, in his mind, as just all being jealous. You have got to be kidding me. And another problem is there's this mindset. If we look at this here, it's this specific statement that Dr. Jamal Bryant is going to make that is nonsense and a common sentiment of the leaders in our community who just be on some wild stuff.
All of it. Yo, listen, I'm going to take a shower with my wife. I'm getting out of here. I want to thank Dr. Bryant. You are absolutely a national treasure.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, your gift is second to none. We got to protect this lady with all costs. She is Harriet Tubman. She is leading people to freedom, that they will not be bound to the slavery of other people's perception. I will walk in the liberation of how it is that they were fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm so glad you came today.
I'm so happy I did. I knew when you came on my show, True Talks, I said, yeah. I said, me and Pastor Brown, we got to get together and have this conversation.
Well, I'll bring you back for a part two.
We got to have, because...
All right. I encourage you to go watch that if you haven't seen it. That was a year ago. But that's the type of nonsense. We don't have to protect anybody at all costs. Not if it's going to cost the community to be hurt. Not if it's going to cost the community, cost them their peace of mind and a bunch of confusion that's stirred up. We don't just protect anyone at all costs. I do feel that how we handle our issues needs to be handled differently than we do now. I don't want to starve her out. I do want her to not operate in her space of ego and fully concerning the situation. A beautiful ego, you can you should have some ego, right? But not to the degree where you can't even think critically, see critically where people are coming from concerning the situation. Like, you just become defensive, and you want to triple down on, like, if it was people in your family being misled by someone who they believe to be a certain thing, who they say they are. If someone in her family was treated by, or went to see or up under the care of someone who is doing exactly what she's doing. I don't believe that Cheyenne Bryant will be okay with that. I don't believe that. I just think she needs to clarify. She has a lot of mixed messages. I've watched so many videos with her. She has a lot of mixed messaging. Even in this video with Jamal, like she's trying to convince herself of her own argument. Sometimes she's all over the place, and I don't know. Her thoughts are just they're not progressive. So I hate that. Truly, we are often targeted. Our own people often targets us. Like, what's his name? Dr. Boyce with his school situation. When I remember when he was launching, he was fully developing or adding to his courses because his financial school, and he hired like this racist guy who was, who teaching him how to target the black community and kind of tap into their emotions, right? It's crazy. Like, then you got Dr. Jamal Bryant, whom I like. He says, there's a lot of sentiments that he makes that I agree with. But again, even a broken clock is right twice a day. But a lot of the leaders in our community, man, are not leading. They are not leading correctly, or I don't think the word is correctly. I think what I'm trying to say is a lot of times what I see is leadership causing more harm in our community than helping and healing. This is why on a mass level there's no real evolution, and I'll get into that. I'm going to release my Chronicles of an Ex-Activist, because I think I have a lot to get off my chest regarding my experience with our community, in terms and view from the lens of activism that will make you say, man, whew, I love us. We're strong. We're beautiful. We're resilient. We're a whole lot of things that are phenomenal. We're a whole lot of things that we need to get past. Also, that we need to get beyond. That we need to move beyond. And so, Cheyenne Bryant, I really hate that you double down. I think that you recognize that. Yeah, so I think you done effed up. You trying to tell yourself that you didn't. Whatever story you trying to tell yourself, I think what you really should say, if you have the best interest of our community at hand, if you have the best interest of our community at hand, I think you really need to rethink your position. You need to rethink how you're moving, and you need to pivot. It is okay, because you got more people on your side than you think or not. Of course, the attacks become harsher when you double down and tell them you ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. We all can say we ain't got nothing to prove to nobody, but when you came to the public to sell your product, you came to the public professing to be a certain thing. You done came to the public claiming to have achieved all of these credentials and all kind of stuff. You did. You put that on display. You did. You. So when somebody asks you to say, "Oh, really? Show me. Show and prove," they're jealous of you. Come on, Cheyenne. You're a beautiful woman, but there's a lot of beautiful women out here. There's a lot of beautiful women killing it, doing it, etc. There's a lot of people who are not. That is not their mindset. They. A lot of folks who are questioning you are happy with themselves, and have done phenomenal things, and not you know. Dr. Umar acts like everybody that is asking you to just verify and validate, like they're in the slums and they're eating crumbs and they're out, you know, they're looking like beasts and stuff. No, that's not true. That's the story y'all tell yourself to hide. That's what you come up with to hide behind. It's a lot of very successful, phenomenal, gorgeous black women on this platform who are trying to reach out and say, hey, just show and prove. We're part of this medical industry. We're therapists and we're doctors. We have doctorates or whatever. You know, just show and prove. Just like we do. Because we got the best interest of the community at hand. Anytime there's confusion, we don't want to stir up the confusion. By your own consistent Christian claim, God is not the author of confusion. You always talking about the word and Christianity, and if that's the case, then you know God is not the author of confusion. The devil is. So you being the devil right now. And the confusion that you are stirring up by not being willing to put on display the things that to verify and validate that you are who you say you are. Anyhow, so next time, y'all be easy. Deuces.